Hey there, everyone. Welcome back. We're going into week 6 with another episode of our fantasy football podcast. We got a little bit to talk about today. We're going to get into some running back detail because there's been a lot of turmoil at the position over the last week. We're going to talk about some of our favorite waiver wire pickups and ads this week, and we're going to talk a little bit about quarterback streamers because a lot of us are going to be streaming quarterbacks now. I know I am. I'll miss you, Dak. You were great. So, Jamie, you ready to go?
Sure am. Happy to be here. We're down a guy again, but we
Oh, of
always
course,
make
but
do.
yeah, hey, we get it done. We get it done as long as at least two of us are available. We'll get it done.
I'm noticing you got some improvements in your studio here.
Oh yeah, that's right. I've upgraded. I've upgraded the studio. I'm out of the living room and into the official, the hosting room. I've got a nice mini fridge set up in the back for some cool beverages. I got the all pink Starbursts up there. I got some artwork to really show off my culture. What if I told you I painted that artwork, Jamie? Would you take my opinions more seriously?
I saw you do it, so no,
So no.
I don't think I
So
can change
no.
my
Yeah.
opinion very much.
All right, that's about what I thought. Yeah. All right. Yeah. But anyway, we're ready to go. We're going into week 6. Don't forget in your rosters before you go anywhere. The Chargers are on bye. The Raiders are on bye. The Saints and the Seahawks. All those teams are on their byes this week. So get their players out of your lineup and get somebody else who's going to get some points for you in there.
Good idea. But Tom, who should we be filling in those spots with?
Well, that's what we're here to tell you. We'll talk to you about some waiver pickups that you can add this week. Jamie, why don't you fill a roster spot for the listeners out there?
Sure. So a wide receiver I really like that is coming back this year. This week rather. He's been injured for about 3 weeks and had a honestly unimpressive week 1 and 2.
Yeah.
We're looking at Rashad Perriman on the Jets, rostered in. Get my Lego Ninjago notebook out. 7%.
Ooh, very official.
7% of leagues. I mean,
Yeah.
he's shown flashes of greatness. He's had good performances before, and I think he's a
Yeah, I remember a couple weeks ago he had a solid performance. He was into double digits at least.
for someone who wants to go with a flyer. We'll say, as in we want to get someone who has the potential to score maybe 5 points
Yeah.
or 20 points. I don't think he's going to be a very consistent player, but I think he has pop-off potential, similar to the old Jets, Robbie Anderson. Obviously, he's off doing work somewhere else now,
Yes.
but
How strange! Another player escapes the Jets and becomes elite.
mm-hmm.
Really weird how that keeps happening to players. I really don't think it's the Jets. I think it might be Adam
escapes
Gase.
Gase.
Yeah, I think that players might escape Adam Gase and become much better. Strange how that happens, but we'll get into some more stuff about that. I'm sure if you're listening to this, you're a little up in the football world and have probably heard the news about a big name escaping Adam Gase, but we'll get to that later. Another waiver wire ad that I think you can throw right into your roster. I'm ready to trust Mike Williams of the LA Chargers. Now, obviously, you can't throw him into your roster this week because they're going on a bye, so he's not really going to be replacing anybody. But I think Mike Williams has some real long-term value here. You can add him. Herbert's able to really connect with him on the deep ball, and he's big. He's able to go up and just get those deep passes, those 50-50 balls. He's able to just rise up over defenders, grab it out of their hands or out over their head, and just go with it. I really like the potential there, and he's not rostered in enough leagues, honestly. I think he's definitely worthy of being a flex.
Fair. I like me some Mike Williams as well. He is a big guy who does get those balls. It might be important to note that Keenan Allen was ruled out for about a half of the last game. But
That's
yes,
true.
I do like Mike Williams.
That is true, but I still think he has independent value of Keenan Allen. I think both of them
I
are
agree.
obviously. I'm not saying that Mike Williams is start him over Keenan or anything like that. I don't want to get carried away here, but I think that there's some real big play value on Mike Williams. And
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm
Has
not saying
pop-off
you
potential.
can. Yeah, I'm not saying you can rely on it, but I'm saying it's going to happen more than once. Like this is a guy who you're going to get consistent pop-offs from,
Again, I think it's just like
which is the
I think
worst
he's in
term
this,
I've ever said.
I think he's in the same boat as Brashad Perriman that I just brought up. He's going to get
Yeah.
you 5 or 20.
Oh yeah. All right, give us somebody else. Who else are you getting off waivers?
Sure, we just talked about 2 wide receivers. I'm going to
Mhm.
talk about a running back here. So Jamal Williams, a running back who is on the Green Bay Packers currently, is rostered in
familiar.
15% of leagues.
Really?
He's had one off week, but
Mhm.
in the 4 that he's played, he's had 8.2, 8.3,
Okay.
2.7, disappointing 2.7, and 18.5 points.
Now that I like that last number there. That's a number
Exactly.
that I like.
And they're all on a decent amount of touches. He's getting around 10, 11 touches a game.
It's not bad.
That's enough touches to take a chance at falling into the end zone.
Hmm.
Especially, I'm someone who's a Bell owner, and depending on what happens later in this week, I might need to play a flyer. And let me tell
Yeah.
you, that's the guy I'm looking at if I have to.
Hmm. Okay. I'm going to throw one more out there, rostered in 53% of leagues, so maybe not in your league, but maybe keep an eye on him. I'm going to throw running back Philip Lindsay on the list, coming off of a bye week because New England decided that they wanted their bye week in week 5 instead of when it was scheduled. But I think Philip Lindsay has some solid value. He was injured to start the season, so obviously a disappointing start. But he's always kind of maintained that flex value of just getting like a little bit of passing work, a bit of rushing work here and there. But with Melvin Gordon, it limits him. But another bit of this running back turmoil we're going to get into later. Philip Lindsay might be in for a bigger workload. I'd be targeting him to pick him up if he wasn't already in my league. Maybe even targeting him with a trade. A couple other names on the waiver wire. Obviously, we can't ignore Chase Claypool. Got 4 touchdowns last week. That's probably the best game for him. But you can't ignore like that kind of performance. Like
Of
there's
course
there's
not.
something there. Yeah, you would. Yeah, there's something there. And Alexander Madison. Uh, hey, this is a lesson. If you didn't have him and you're the Dalvin Cook owner, this is why I always roster my handcuffs if they're available. If they're like a clear cut person like that, like a Madison or a Pollard type situation. Like if I know who it is and I have that Dalvin Cook or I have that Zeke, like I am getting the handcuff.
Even goes to
Uh,
the Jamal Williams I'm talking about. He's a clear too.
Yeah, honestly, I really don't see a negative if you have the room, which you should because you have a bench. Like if you can guarantee the survival of your RB1, even not even the person, but the points. If you can guarantee the survival of the points,
Right.
I would have it.
Of course, handcuff your players. Have been preaching it forever.
Yeah, it's the smart thing to do. It's responsible.
And I have actually one more waiver pickup if we
Oh
still have
yeah,
time
hit
for
me with
that.
it.
Yeah,
Hit me with it.
I want to talk about Tim Patrick on Denver.
Yeah,
Tim Patrick rostered in 17% of leagues right now.
that's low. That's low.
Numbers he's put up are 6.4, 4.4, and then 14.3 and 23.3.
There's a bit of a rise there. Do you know what that correlates with? That rise in points.
I think you're insinuating the other quarterbacks, but
Oh no, I was gonna say Cortland Sutton.
oh yes, that as well. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, sharp spike when Cortland Sutton went out there. Tim Patrick seems to be the guy to keep an eye on there in the Denver
Right,
situation.
and some guy I'm gonna talk about later as well. Drew Lock looks like he is slated for a return this week, which can only add to Tim Patrick's value in my eyes.
Hey, it can't be worse than Beyblade Brett and those Dino Driscolls, and
That's what I'm saying.
they got Blake the Snake waiting as well. They got Blake Bortles hiding out somewhere there too. So I think Drew Lock is probably a better option for those receivers than any of the above stated quarterbacks. So
Exactly, feed him.
yeah, maybe we got
Also, I
some.
do want to point out those numbers being slightly higher is in line with Noah Fant getting hurt once as well.
Hey, that's true too, but you got to take that into consideration. If he's out, they're gonna get more work.
You do. I'm just covering my bases.
Yeah. Oh, of course, yeah. All right, well, let's cover another position, the quarterback position. Obviously, if you follow football at all, you know what happened to Dak Prescott at this point, quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
Prayers
He's
up.
done for the season. Oh yeah. He is. What was it? I believe it was a dislocation and a compound fracture
Yeah,
of the ankle. It was my heart dropped
upsetting.
when I saw it. You hate to see that kind of thing. Like you never want to see guys get injured like this. Yeah, like I want my opponent's players to do poorly. I don't want that to happen. Like you
Of
never.
course
That's
not.
just
I want him to get
that's just
stuffed on the yard
yeah.
line on the
Yeah,
line of
I want him
scrimmage
to
every
get
time.
stuffed. I don't want that to happen. That's just disrespectful. Never root for injuries. Don't do that, guys. But
Injuries are terrible.
yeah, I'm cursed. I've lost Saquon already. Now I've lost Dak too, and I am scrambling to find a replacement. Jamie, if you were in this situation, who are you looking to, or even if your quarterback's on a bye, who are you picking up to replace them this week? Like, who's your go-to streamer?
Well, as the Justin Herbert owner, my quarterback is on a bye. So the number one quarterback I would actually look at this week, if I was trying to stream a quarterback, would be Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Oh yeah.
everyone knows him. He's a current king of Miami. But he has a matchup against the Jets, who are
Yep.
honestly just getting worse and worse.
How many touchdowns does Fitzpatrick throw for this week?
Probably like four.
That's nice.
Yeah,
I think
and
we could. I think we could bump that number up.
I could say at least four then.
Yeah, I would say he's going to get a
But
lot
again,
of points.
you
He's going
said
to get
throw
a lot.
for. You said throw for. I bet you Gaskin can even get a ton of work.
Yeah, either way, start your Miami players this week. Start, and I can't agree with you more. There's a magical man going on a trip to New York, and he's gonna throw some touchdowns there. So definitely,
And
I'm interested in grabbing him.
people kind of meme on Miami still, but honestly, Fitzpatrick, his one of his worst performances was like 18 points or something. And
Hey,
he put up 27 or 28 last week. He's about to destroy the Jets. I think
you
he's
can
a
meme on
no-brainer.
this team. You can meme on this team all you want. Ryan Fitzpatrick went out there, spanked the 49ers, got Jimmy Garoppolo benched, and scored like what was it, 43 points.
Yeah,
This team was in the Super Bowl last year, and the Dolphins just put up 43 points on them. All right, like that's no something real happened there. I know
yeah.
that the
The
49ers are
Dolphins are
lacking.
genuinely not bad.
Yeah, the 49ers are lacking some of the high tier defensive talent, but 43 points like that doesn't happen by accident.
Of course.
Something happened. The Dolphins were good there. They played well. Credit
Anyways,
to uh, credit to them. Yeah.
Tom, as the guy losing Dak, who are you looking at?
Well, obviously, I'm looking at the Magic Man going from Miami to New York, though. But I think there's a pretty clear and obvious replacement for Dak, and that's Andy Dalton, who is
Of
just going to
course.
be discount Dak on the Cowboys. I mean, there's a reason Andy Dalton was the backup to Dak. I think that Dak is more talented and more skilled with the football than Andy Dalton. He's more mobile. I think he's probably a bit of a better passer. I don't want to like slander the Red Rocket here either, but yeah, Andy Dalton is he's gonna give you pretty much what Dak gave you. I'd say maybe a little bit more reliance on the run game, so maybe a little more to Zeke. Hey, maybe he gets a few dump off passes to Zeke and gets his value that way. But I really see no reason why you can't pick up Andy Dalton and not expect him to do the same sort of things Prescott was doing.
Right.
They still have that bad defense. Like Dak had nothing to do with that.
Right.
So
I agree. I actually
great weapons too.
all last year I was preaching that if I were in a situation where I really needed a quarterback, that I would take Bengals Andy Dalton. And I
Yeah.
mean, he always was consistent. He was
hmm
the king of, yeah, the king of the 15 to 20 point performances for sure.
Hey, I'll take that if I'm figuring it out right now because I'm just scrambling to
Exactly.
get someone in there who's not gonna give me a bust game.
Yeah, that's exactly what you need.
Yeah. You have any other quarterbacks that you're looking at this week?
I mentioned him briefly. I would look at Drew Lock.
Oh yeah.
They're projecting him crazy low at 13. I think that's disrespectful. He's what, like 5-1, 5-2 in starts since he's been
It's
in the
more than
league.
that now. I think it's maybe 6-1 now,
Sure.
6-1, something like that.
I,
He's all right though.
he's
Yeah.
great. He's shown that, like, even without these stud receivers, that he's making Tim freaking Patrick look good. I mean, he can work with
Yeah.
anything. He's still making. I mean, yeah, the guy just puts up good numbers. He has a young group of guys who theoretically could pop off at
Yeah.
any time. So I
They
like
look
him way
they
more
look
than.
okay though.
I think a 13-point projection is just disrespectful. I think he'll do way better than
No.
that.
That's probably due to the matchup. They're going in to see the Patriots this week, but there's no Gilmore there, so there's a big threat to that point total for him is taken away if we lock there.
Also, I
But
believe
still,
Patriots give up 16th most points to QBs, which is as middle of the pack as you can possibly be.
hey,
So
that's not
that
bad.
sounds like an average day. So
If you're willing to take your chances and you need him, there's worse shots out there.
absolutely,
Yeah. I've got one more. I've actually got two more, but I'm really only counting it as one because it's two quarterbacks in a matchup.
sure, hit
I
me.
have Stafford and Gardner Minshew, Matt Stafford and Gardner Minshew. The yeah, Jaguars are going to be playing the Lions this week. We got a cat fight up there,
Hmm.
and those I think those two quarterbacks are going to be slinging it against two defenses that aren't
Are
aren't that good. Like
lost. Yeah.
Jacksonville shipped out all the pieces of their defense this year. They're in rebuild mode, and the Lions defense is very very inexperienced. It feels like they're just having a tough time getting anything done. They're giving up a lot of yardage.
Yeah.
And I like both of those quarterbacks to just be throwing the ball this week. I think
Hard
that they've
agree.
got some really good potential there.
Hard agree.
But
I think I
I
want to.
still prefer.
Go ahead, sorry.
Sorry, yeah, I still prefer Fitz or Andy Dalton.
Right, right. I think in that I like that you're breaking up that matchup. Actually, in that matchup though, I think I like Stafford a little better.
Oh
Because
yeah, me too. Me too.
Chark is banged the heck up right now. He
Yeah.
didn't practice. I think he's got two injuries. I think they said back and chest or something. Like
Even
I don't know what this guy
yeah.
forgot to get a spotter or something. Was stuck with the bar
He's
on
just
his
stuck
chest.
under the bed. Oh no!
Yeah,
Help
no.
me!
So LaVisca
Me when I'm
Chenault
trying to lift the
stocks
bar
up.
there.
Other receivers on Jacksonville stocks up. Like you always got your Chris Conley or something.
Yeah,
But
Cole.
yeah, Keelan Cole. But yeah, I prefer Stafford for
Yeah,
that reason because he
I
has
would
his
prefer
healthy
Stafford
weapons.
too. Yeah, he has Galladay back. Marvin Jones is always there.
And
Plus,
Galladay
Stafford's been
hasn't missed
doing
a
this
beat.
for
I was worried because it was
Stafford's
a
been doing
hamstring.
this for years.
I was worried it was a hamstring injury with Galladay,
Yeah.
but
Oh no, yeah,
he came back.
I'm telling you, that Galladay guy, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we can take that and get into a running back segment because there's been a lot of running back turmoil over the last few weeks, last week, even the last few days, especially. A lot of things have popped up, and we can just get right into them.
Let's
The
do it.
biggest story is obviously going to be, it's going to be Le'Veon Bell. They freed him. They freed him from the Jets,
Thank you. I
just like
think.
his once teammate was freed. Yeah, maybe. Thank you. Maybe. But I think he's still got something in the tank. Obviously, you do too. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about him. We'd just be like, yeah, he's cut. Bye. But
Right.
yeah, he was released from the Jets after they couldn't get any trade to work with him. Where do you think? Where do you think he's going to go? Where do you think he's going to land?
The amount of landing locations I've heard from everyone is insane. I think you can look at New England, you can look at Chicago, you can look at Kansas City, you can look at Indy, you can look at the Chargers. I think you can look at Jacksonville even.
There's a lot of places out there that could
He
use a guy
has
like Le'Veon. I
infinite
think.
possibilities, and it depends. So since they couldn't trade him off,
Hmm.
that means that teams aren't super interested in paying that big contract. So it depends
Oh no,
on
well,
if he.
I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to pay. What was it, 29 million for
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell? He hasn't looked that great with the Jets. I mean, obviously he's Le'Veon Bell, so he's got to have some talent in him still. But I don't want to pay 29 million for a guy that still has to prove it,
Give him to the Steelers.
especially at.
Let him go back to the Steelers. He'll admit his
You said
mistake.
you said there's infinite possibilities. I think that there's 30 possibilities. I think the Jets are off the table, and I think the Steelers is gonna not happen. So
You want to hear a take I actually haven't told anyone, but I think would be really cool for him is
I'm honored to be the first to hear it. Let's
the
go.
Dolphins.
Yeah, you
The-
like the Miami?
I like Gaskin, but I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ready to trust him as a number one guy, and they actually have a real shot. They're looking like a good team for sure.
Yeah,
If they can
that'd
just
be
get
a nice thing to add there.
solid running back in there or something,
Hmm.
I'd like to see him in that
Yeah.
blue uniform.
Hey, I'm sure Le'Veon Bell wouldn't mind going to Miami as well. That's always a nice place to play,
Right.
especially because you get to live in Miami. That'd be nice. But
Hmm.
I think we can't outrule the possibility that Bill Belichick was waiting outside the Jets facility with an Italian cold cut foot long sub and a new uniform for Le'Veon Bell. Like it's just anytime that anyone gets into a situation like that, there's always whispers like, "Oh, the Patriots are gonna come get him. They're
Of
gonna pick him up."
course.
And it's because they do, like, not every time obviously, but so often it happens. Like again, mentioned former teammate Antonio Brown. The second that the Raiders were like, we don't want to deal with this, like the immediate thing was like, all right, Bill Belichick spotted getting off a plane in Vegas. What could that be?
Right. No,
Like
we're about to
no,
put
sorry,
together.
they were still Oakland at that time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Either
don't
way,
know. We could just put a team together of all the guys getting in trouble. We'll get like Antonio Brown. We'll get Melvin Gordon and Le'Veon Bell in the backfield.
we're getting to him.
We'll
Don't
get
worry.
we'll get
Yeah.
Josh Gordon.
Oh God, these poor guys.
I
Yeah. But I think the Bears would make sense too as a landing spot. Not that I don't
feel
believe
bad
in
for my
the
boy David Montgomery though.
yeah, not that I don't believe in the potential of David Montgomery, but I still haven't seen it yet, and it's it's kind of rough
I
at
mean,
this
they could
point.
use him in a system or like a
Yeah, it
committee
could be two of them.
because of Cohen going down.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, speaking of committee, because that's my least favorite term in fantasy. Where do you not want to see Le'Veon Bell go? Like, what backfield? Whose value do you not want to see him tank?
Um, redefine that question. Do you mean what running back do I not want him to ruin the value of, or where do I not want him
Yeah.
to go to ruin his value?
I mean, you can give me a running back that you don't want him to ruin the value of.
Um, running backs I have. I mean, if I go to, if I
Of course,
think
of
if he
course.
goes to,
You can say running backs you have. I don't want him to stay away from
so I
Jacksonville.
don't even
Stay
have.
away
I
from my
actually,
James Robinson.
I bet you if he goes to L.A., as in, like takes over the backfield completely,
Which LA?
the Chargers. Sorry,
Okay.
I think if he goes to the Chargers, then Eckler's going to come back weak as absolute heck, and
You think it could be a Le'Veon year there?
Yeah, he's just gonna assume his backup role again, Eckler. That is. So I hope
Oh
that I
man,
hope he doesn't go there. I want to say
that'd be
he
rough.
would kill all Mixon's momentum if he went to the Bengals. I don't see him doing that
Oof.
though.
Yeah, no, I don't think that they're looking to
I would like to see him
pick him up.
go back to the Steelers. I don't think it's really possible,
It's
but
not. It's not
tell
happening.
James
James
Conner to get
Conner is
back
good
on the
enough. Yeah,
bench.
I don't think they're gonna do that. They're gonna be like, all right, Connor, we broke up with Le'Veon, but he's back now, so
Friendship
goodbye.
ended with James Conner. Now Le'Veon is my best friend.
Yeah, they just take the old fucking. They had James Conner taped over Le'Veon. They just take him right
Hmm.
off the pictures on the wall. Yeah, I don't know. Never rule out the Patriots or stuff like that. So
That's where
now we're gonna get
as
into.
a Le'Veon owner, I don't want him to go there though,
You
because
don't want him on the Patriots?
they seriously switch running backs like
Yeah, but that's.
twice
I
every
would
set
say
of
that's.
downs just to for a situation. As a fantasy
I,
owner, I just want volume.
yeah, I'd say that's because they really don't have a running back that's of Le'Veon Bell's caliber. Even now, when he's on this prove-it deal, I would say he's probably better than anything that the Patriots have going.
Right. No, it's true. But again, who's to say that they're not going to be like, well, James White is going to be our pass catcher, Le'Veon, you can run it, and then he's going to be stuck in a Kenyon Drake situation right now.
Oh, that could be. Okay, well, we'll get into that Kenyon Drake and those other situations. We're gonna get into a play with another issue, a slightly more serious one, slightly outside the NFL one. I just want to take a second to talk to our listeners. Don't drink and drive; it's irresponsible. There's no excuse for it. Get an Uber, get a Lyft, arrange a ride home. Don't do it. There's no excuse. Don't do it. It's bad. With that out of the way, Melvin Gordon was pulled for DUI the other day. That's driving under the influence. Don't do that. So this is a very serious situation that actually you told me before we started. The NFL, the collective bargaining agreement was just renegotiated.
Sure was.
Offenses like this are susceptible to punishment with 3-game suspension, and it could void his guaranteed money on his contract. So obviously, those are rough things to have happen to you after something like this when you're playing out there as a running back in your career. But with a 3-game suspension potentially looming, how are you looking at Philip Lindsay for the next few weeks?
Much better. I mean, assuming he comes back, like, he practiced full, so I can't. I assume he's going to come back at full power. So,
Hmm.
he comes back full power. Drew Lock comes back full power. The team's going to look great. I've been preaching about it all episode, so maybe Jamie's a resident Denver lover now or something, but
Hmm. Big
yeah.
Chargers guy here, Jamie Negrucci, big Chargers fan.
No, no, no.
Sorry, not Chargers fan, Broncos fan, big Broncos fan, Jamie Negrucci.
Yes, sure. Um, but yeah, Philip Lindsay
Wrong
obviously
team,
knows
my
what to
bad.
do with the football. He gets a ton of PPR points. Like,
Hmm.
my man could get 10 yards, but he'll get 10 catches too. So I mean,
Hey, I'll take that. It's all
yeah,
about the points. What
exactly.
matters to me at the end of the day is the points on the board. I don't care how you're getting them.
Also, he's good at the 1 yard line because I've seen it where he does all the time where he jumps over. He's got hops unlike some of the bigger, broader guys.
He's sneaky too. He can get through like tiny gaps in the line and just
Of
like
course,
boom, he's through. There he goes. He's just because he's much smaller than the average player in the NFL. He's only what is he like 5'8", 5'7",
I
5'8"?
think
I don't want to
5'7".
disrespect him and say the wrong height here, but yeah, no, I'm all about it. Short King, I'm with you, man. Resident 5'5" guy here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Obviously,
Gordon looking
this
ugly.
is a situation to monitor. We don't know exactly what's going to happen, but it's safe to say that there will be some fallout for this. And as a resident Philip Lindsay owner in our league now, I'm pretty excited about the potential for him. Um, Next running back up is a much higher profile name, at least on the fantasy scoreboard, than the last two we've talked about. Is Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook went out of the Seahawks game, and he was running all over them, like he was going crazy that game. Like
As
he was going to
Dalvin
put up
does.
no, but this was not everyday, regular Dalvin. Like
Oh, it is for Dalvin.
this was advanced Dalvin. Like he was putting up crazy numbers. I think he put up like 20 something points, and then he went out with a groin injury. Madison came in and put up 16 more. So I expect there's no reason that wouldn't have kept going his way potentially. But either way, he's out with a groin injury, and they've confirmed that he's going to be out for at least the next game this week, and then they have the bye week next week. So they're giving him 2 weeks off to rest, fully recover. Then they're going to reevaluate him after that. That's probably the smartest thing to do.
Yep.
Give him time to recover from his injury fully. Don't risk like aggravating it further or anything like that. Like we said earlier, this is why you draft your handcuffs, because again, I'm getting really lucky here this week with these running back pickups. I guess that's karma for losing Dak. Someone in our
Yeah,
league
it's so fun.
dropped Alexander Madison, and I snatched him up immediately off waiver wires that week, and it's paying dividends immediately, like within days of that pickup.
Right. I actually had him the week before, but I Mixon was looking super questionable to play, and I dropped Madison for Gio Bernard if you want to come in.
Oh no! Oh no!
So I had a nice Gio
Oh,
Bernard sitting on my bench for a week, and that was
oh
obviously
God!
worthless.
Hey,
But
love the mustache on Gio Bernard
oh
though.
yeah,
Gotta love
sexy
that.
man.
Beautiful. Mm,
Nothing
get
against
some
Gio
of
Bernard
that.
as a person, just don't like his fantasy outlook
No,
right
but
now.
obviously the massive incoming fantasy value for for Dalvin Cook's replacement, Alexander Madison. They play the Falcons this week. He's got, I think, there's like top 5 running back potential coming out of that game for him.
And
He's
he's done
he's
it.
got right into my lineup.
He's done it years before, so there's
Yeah.
no reason to not trust him. I bet you minimum 15 points on Madison.
Hmm.
I want to say he'll probably do 20 25.
Yeah, if he's on the waiver wire in your league at all, like grab him right now. Like pick him up if you have priority or if you have some fab to pick up. Like he's gonna smash this week, and if he's on your waivers, go
Madison
for it. Grab him.
Mattison, by the way.
Oh yeah, don't get that with a D. That's Madison with a T. Sorry, it's the Boston in me. You know, the words, the letters, they just come out a little strange
No,
sometimes.
you
Just
said it
how it
fine.
is.
I think I'm pretty sure you
Oh, okay.
pronounced
I
both
thought
of
you
them
were
Madison. I
thought
was
you were
just letting
taking a knock at Boston, taking a knock
no,
at Faneuil
just
Hall
letting
right
people
there.
know. Just
Boston
letting people
Scott.
know.
Yeah, Boston Scott, great guy. Um, but he's not a running back we really need to talk about right now. I think that we can talk about Kenyon Drake though, because there's you're not getting what you drafted with Kenyon Drake, are you, Jamie?
No, you're sure not. I feel bad for the guy because again, I've been the resident Kenyon Drake fanboy
Oh yeah, you were
since he
you
was
were a
stuck
Drake
on
truther
Miami, since he
in
was
the
under
case.
Gase. Yeah, I'm so sick of seeing it just because I feel like he is such a dynamic, explosive player that needs the freaking ball in his hands, and people just I don't know what it is, but coaches just stop believing in him and literally throw him to the wolves.
I don't know, man. Like Kingsbury said that they were going to try to get the ball into his hands more, get him more used on the field this week versus the Jets. And I mean, they did a little to his credit. He found his way into the end zone and really salvaged his week. But without that extra 6 points from the touchdown, he's still looking kind of rough. And Chase Edmonds is I think looking better.
Right. Volume wise, are they about 50-50? I know. I
On
think
touches
Drake.
at this point,
Yeah, I think Drake's probably a little ahead, so it's in
yeah.
between like 60-40 and 70-30.
On
So
touches this on touches at this point, Kenyon Drake is probably still getting a little more work, but Chase Edmonds is getting all of that passing work. Like
and I
last week,
don't know
he got
why, because they're never two running
so
back
much.
sets.
No, but he is getting all that passing work. I would you be trying to sell Kenyon Drake right now? Would you be trying to get him off your roster for whatever you can get at this point, like for maybe like 75% value?
It really depends on what my league would be valuing him at, you know? Because if
Hmm.
someone's trying to tell me that Kenyon Drake's nobody and they want to flip, let's say some lower tier running back to me for him, like some
Hmm.
people might say it's probably worth taking a straight up like Kenyon Drake for Ronald Jones, right? I like
I think I would.
Jones, so maybe I would even do that if I was in the situation. But it really depends on how desperate I am. I 0-5? Am I 5-0? So I don't. I think Kenyon Drake is still keepable, and if I was at least 500, I would keep
So
him.
you're willing to sit on him then?
Yeah, I'm willing to be a truther.
Hmm.
Kyler looks a little slow to start. We'll see if they can get some more stuff going on.
We'll just have to find out, I guess. But someone who has not been slow to start is Mike Davis. Right
Big
out
Mike
of
Davis.
his first start, Mike Davis has left me wondering what would Christian McCaffrey have done to these poor defenses that Mike Davis has been running all over.
Right.
Obviously, we expect Christian McCaffrey back. Probably not next week. I think the initial timeline for his injury was 4 to 6 weeks, but he's coming back soon. Do you think that there's any long-term value with Mike Davis here, or once Christian McCaffrey is back, like is it over?
I bet once McCaffrey's back, it's over because that's just kind of historically what happens to Davis, because he was the guy
What guy?
on Seattle. Well, no, he was because he started for a while. He's a little old for a
Mhm.
running back at this point. What is he, 28 or
He's
28
he
or
is
something?
29.
29. Yeah. So
29.
when like he was the guy in Seattle, and then Chris Carson kind of came over and started doing the thing, and then he was relegated back. So I assume it would be the same thing, just because obviously Carson's a stud too, but Christian McCaffrey's kind of the stud, so I feel like he is the most
Oh yeah,
capable of relegating
stubbiest of
somebody
studs.
to the back of the running back line. So
Yeah, it's just what's going to happen
if
with
it cuts
Christian
into
McCaffrey.
McCaffrey's touches, he'll still get 90% of the running back touches on that team.
Is that a worry for you as a McCaffrey owner? Mike Davis potentially like capping his upside a bit.
Um, Only a slight. Like I'm barely worried on it. Like again, at this point, I'm not trying to get rid of him unless I like get the deal of a lifetime. So
So is what we're saying Christian McCaffrey still good?
yes,
Are
piping
we
hot
willing to
take.
make
I would
that?
like
Are we
to
willing
play
to make
Christian
that take
McCaffrey.
and say? Are we willing to put that out there that we think Christian McCaffrey will be good?
Yes, I will tweet that today. Too
All
much.
right, well that's pretty bold right there, but we're saying it right here. You heard it here first. Christian McCaffrey will be
Still good.
good. All right, someone who has become good after not being so good for so long that you wanted to talk about specifically, Devonta Freeman. I'll just let you take it away here.
Yeah, I think he's established himself as a solid RB2 and definitely a must start. Um, Last week he had, I want to say it was 15 rush attempts and 2 receptions, and he got 60 yards rushing and 27 receiving. This is all off the dome. I'm pretty sure that's right though. And
Sounds about right.
he ended up with a 16.7 in full PPR, which is just great. Like
That's good.
that team is so bad, and he is still
He's still getting work.
he's
Those should be Saquon's points.
that's what I was gonna
Oh,
say. He's genuinely running the ball better than Saquon was
whoa!
in like the 2 weeks we got to see
Don't
him.
do not slander the good prince's name.
I love him, but no. So yeah, I think if Saquon Barkley if Saquon Barkley, if Devonta Freeman is still on waivers in your league, which is a long shot, pick him up. I spent a lot
At
of
this
fab
point.
on him in a different league, and it's really panned out for me. So
You know who you can drop to pick up Devonta Freeman?
Saquon Barkley.
No, I mean if he's on your bench for whatever reason, yeah, you could drop him. But I would also say you can drop Deion Lewis, Wayne Gallman, the other two running backs in that situation that aren't even worth like a penny at this point.
Yeah, speaking of Penny, how about Elijah Penny in there too?
Oh God, he's there too. If you have him on your roster for some
Yeah,
godforsaken
stay
reason, you
away
can
from the
drop
other
him as
RBs.
well.
The other
Yeah,
RBs
no,
are done.
it's Devonta Freeman is the running back to roster here, and if you don't have him, don't pick up any of the others. Drop them; they're not worth it.
While we're on that topic,
Yeah.
with Le'Veon being gone from the Jets, I don't think the other Jets running backs really have any value either.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, so you're not scrambling to pick up Frank Gore now, running back
I
extraordinaire.
don't want Frank Gore, and I don't want LaMichael
What?
Perine.
What? You don't want Frank Gore and LaMichael Perine? I can't believe that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, depending on how my waiver claims go, and if Bell doesn't play, I might even have to. But no, you're not happy
Oh
about that. You
man.
never want to start it. We don't want those players. I don't care
No,
that they're
no, I
I
don't
don't care
want.
that they're starting running backs. They're in a Gaze system that's going to be down by 20 in the first quarter.
Yeah. Oh man. I don't know. We could see the return of Frank Gore again. He returns again for like the ninth
He
time.
will genuinely still run for 1,000 yards too. That's the stupid part.
Oh,
He's going to do it
that's.
again.
You think 1,000 yards for Frank Gore? I think that might be a little high with this Jets team,
He's
man.
done it every season in his life.
Hey, well, we'll just have to find out.
That's what, like 20 seasons?
Yeah, it's been a long time. I think it was. Didn't he invent the forward pass?
Yeah, something like that.
Somewhere around there. Yeah. All right,
He-
let's jump into I guess our next topic. We had to go back to the Jets there a little bit. It's worth mentioning that you don't want those guys, but yeah, we saw the return of the Miracle Man. Alex Smith took his first NFL snaps
My king.
since the worst thing that I ever saw on television, and he had an effect on his running backs in that he
Sure did.
liked one. And it wasn't the one that people wanted him to like at this point. He was really going for not going for Antonio Gibson. He was going for McKissick. He was going for smooches.
Sure was.
And Jamie, you're the resident Gibson owner here. You drafted him, and you were calling for the breakout, and it came.
Yeah.
Are you? Oh, this was only after I should mention. Alex Smith only went in after Kyle Allen left with an injury. Kyle Allen is still projected as the starter for this team.
Right, right. Which is a big reason I'm not worried. So
Okay.
I, again, lifetime Alex Smith fan here.
Oh yeah,
He's the
love
king.
the guy.
He's the king of the 5-yard dump pass, and I think McKissick is just
Check down to be safe.
maybe he just fit him better. Maybe they were practiced together, especially since they're, lower down in the depth chart. Maybe they're just
Yeah,
practicing together
second.
more often. So if they have chemistry, it's probably worth them using them together in tandem like that and not using Gibson. So I'm
Could
not
have been at least for this game, yeah.
right. I'm by no means scared. I do obviously resident Gibson lover, resident Alex Smith lover. So would love to see those two make the connection. But I'm not worried for Gibson yet. His numbers are up. I think he's still projected for 12 or 13 points for the rest of the season still every game, and he's only his worst week has been like an 8.4 or something.
Mhm.
He's never disappointed yet. Like he didn't get used in the second half that entire game, and he still put up like 10 and a half.
That's not bad. That's not bad for half a game of football.
Right. So no, I'm not scared for Gibson. I actually don't think McKissick goes up in value. He's probably
I really don't either,
unless you're
especially
playing
with
like 3 point PPR.
oh yeah, yeah. I think it's fair to say that Gibson is the more talented running back in this system, and even if Alex Smith were to become the starter, I think that would just lead to him getting more comfortable with Gibson than keeping McKissick on board.
Exactly.
All right.
Again, we've seen
Oh,
Alex Smith
sorry.
operate. No, you're okay. We've seen Alex
Yeah.
Smith operate with guys who'd rather run than catch as well. Anyway, so
Yeah.
he could learn it again. It's just what
I
he's
don't know.
more comfortable with.
Honestly, can we just give a round of applause to Alex Smith for coming back? Like that's a story of a lifetime right there. That was really impressive. Like
Love
it
him.
is pretty much it's like a sports miracle that that guy took
Maybe
snaps in an NFL game
Maybe
the
I'll
other
hang
day.
up my Smith shirt right on that blank spot on the wall.
Ah, he
for
deserves it,
next
dude. He
episode.
deserves it all. All right. We have a couple more backfields that we want to talk about here. These ones are a little more crowded, a few more names than the other ones we've talked about. I'm going to jump into the Rams first because I drafted Cam Akers 6th overall, and it's been disappointing
Sixth
so
round.
far. Oh, sorry, God, yeah. Oh, not 6th overall. Jeez. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, Michael Thomas, get those guys
Give me
out of here.
Akers.
Akers, Cam Akers, 6th. Oh, no,
Give me Akers.
God, no. Oh, God. 6th round, I drafted Cam Akers. 6th round.
There we
6th
go.
round, I drafted Cam Akers.
And,
he has
you're
not
high on
been,
Cam Akers now.
What?
And now you're high on Cam Akers.
I mean, I've had no choice to be but to believe in him, and I saw some hope last week because the Rams' backfield was still kind of split work between the three. Darrell Henderson still getting most of the work there. He was 15 for 38 plus 3 receptions. He had 2 touchdowns as well, so he's obviously still the guy to start. Malcolm Brown was in there too with 8 for 30, but I saw Cam Akers with 9 touches and 65 yards. That's pretty good if you break that down. I know it's a small sample size. I know that's like this doesn't confirm anything, but I have to believe in this guy. And at this point, if you've rostered him or you drafted him for whatever reason, you have to just like be holding on. And I think there's some hope here. Jamie,
Yeah.
what do you make of the Rams backfield?
I kind of agree with what you're saying because actually, as the Brown owner,
Nice.
Brown's gone down in both usage and projections.
Sorry, Brown.
Yeah, my poor son. Thank you for that 1 week of like 29 points though.
That was nice.
Yeah, he's going way down, and I don't really know why, but sure, I guess that's what's happening because I think Henderson's the clear one, and then these two are kind of
At this
I
point,
don't want to
yeah,
say in a fight for 2. I want to say they're sharing 2.
that's what it looks like at
'Cause-
9 and 8 touches.
Right. So it might just be whoever fits a certain play call better. I don't know if one. Honestly, I haven't analyzed the game script enough to know if one's a third down guy or if one's a pass catching guy. I truthfully haven't looked at the Rams game script enough, but yeah,
I
I
remember,
feel like Akers could very easily take over. At least Brown's time. I don't know about Henderson's
I hope
yet.
so. They drafted him high, and that was the thought process coming in that they weren't super confident in Henderson, they weren't super confident in Brown going forward, and they wanted a rookie.
They
that-
loved Brown last year, which is why I was so salty that they're not using him anymore.
Yeah. There is a quote from Sean McVay that I like to not acknowledge where he said he really liked the 49ers like committee system, and I really like to
Ooh.
I really like to not think about that. But you know, that's something there that we can't ignore either. That could potentially what we saw last week could potentially be what we see going forward, where it's just like this split between the three of them, and like you know, you don't really know who it is going forward. But I think there's hope for Akers.
Right.
There has to be. I need hope.
Football wise, it's a good.
I have that.
say it all the
I have
time.
nothing.
Football wise, it's a good thing. Fantasy wise, it's not a good thing.
Oh no, God, no! Keep those committees away from me.
Right.
Speaking of committees, the Ravens backfield is a committee.
A mess.
And can you start any of these players right now?
No, I don't think you should.
No, I don't either. I think it's fairly safe to say at this point. Like Mark Ingram, J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards. These all feel weird to say for different reasons, but you can't start them. Mark Ingram because he's such a established veteran. J.K. Dobbins because he was a hyped up rookie going into a good run offense, and Gus Edwards because
because
where
he's
did he
there.
come from? Yeah, but it's like it seems weird to say, but I think that all three of these players you can't start. You can't start them until someone more clearly emerges as the lead in that backfield. And you have
Right.
to remember as well that Lamar Jackson is getting a good amount of that work too, and he likes it, and he's going to keep doing it. He's going to keep stealing those touchdowns, stealing that rushing work from them. And
Right.
again, it works great for football. It doesn't work great for fantasy.
Of course. Of course. Of course. Yeah, I don't have much to add other than that. Other than yeah, I don't even think I'd let the other two really sit on my bench too long. I would let Mark Ingram stay there specifically for name value and because he's a name in a trade that'll get people going all the time. But yeah, the other, I don't know. The Ravens' backfield's not something I want to be a
Yeah,
part of right now. I'm not
really.
I'm not trading to get into that system. Is what I'm getting at
Oh
here.
no, no, God no! I'm not trading. I'm not picking these players up. I remember a couple weeks ago I said I felt most comfortable rostering Ingram still.
Yeah.
At this point, I really don't feel good with any of them. I think I've swapped to having Dobbins as the one that I like the most, just for the potential of the rookie breakout takeover at this point. But
Right.
I, I'm not having a huge amount of hope. They all look equally usable for the team for what they need because they're just so good at running the ball,
Right.
and it means that they're equally not good for fantasy,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
They're
It's a
all
tragedy
very
of
similar
football.
players.
All right, well, one last one to get into here that's a little interesting. With Austin Eckler out, it saw perhaps the rise for Josh Kelly and the use of Justin Jackson to come into the league. I picked up Justin Jackson off waivers last week, didn't play him, but I am very excited to see that he outtouched Kelly and outperformed him as well. Josh Kelly went 11 for 29 with the reception, and Justin Jackson went 15 for 71 with 5 receptions. Those are drastically different numbers. And I don't know, Jamie, what's your take on this backfield? Because I know you just picked up Eckler off a
Sure
trade
did.
with the injury on the cheap.
Um, I mean, yeah, I pretty much agree with everything you said. I like your guy much better. I
I like my guys. I like my guys a lot more than their guys.
yeah, that's what I'm
My
saying. But
guys, great. Their guys, whack.
no, but I mean, it's kind of just a show of what they're gonna do for the rest of the season, or not for the rest of the season, but until Eckler comes back, I guess we'll say, because
Yeah.
obviously, maybe maybe he's just more similar to Eckler, and that's just why they wanted to run that. Because you said he's even stretching with 5 catches, so
hmm
and Eckler's running and catching. Well, that's his mo anyway. He's
Yeah.
obviously hurt right now, so
Yeah, of course. He was great in the passing game. He was so oh god. Do you remember how amazing Eckler was last year?
sure do.
Considering that you were getting him in like what, like the fifth,
5th round.
sixth round, maybe.
Yep.
Like, he went fifth in ours. He went right at the start of the fifth in our draft last year, and it like he returned that value so much. It was great. But I mean, I'm not saying that Justin Jackson is going to give you
And
something
then that
like
guy wore
last
the
year's
dress.
Austin Eckler. Yeah, that guy did end up in a dress for some strange reason. But yeah, the tradition in our league is the loser of the league at the end of the season. We have like a losers bracket playoffs. Whoever ends up at the bottom of that at the end of the year, basically has to be Vanna White at the draft next year and put all the picks on the board while drafting their own team from there. I've never
In
experienced
a
it because
dress.
I'm good at fantasy
That's
football.
the important
Yeah.
part.
Oh
In a
yeah, in a
dress.
dress, in a dress, and not like we made the dress to specifically be either like super tight so it's hard to move, or like it's like a huge gown so you're tripping over it. So
Mhm.
you're either like stuck together or you're carrying it in your hands. And it's a fun time. It's a great time, you know. But yeah, well, I'm looking to avoid that. I've had a rough start to the season. Recap for me: Saquon Barkley goes down, mismanagement of the waiver wire, so I don't pick up Mike Davis and end up with I think it was Deion Lewis, and now I've lost Dak. I'm currently sitting at 1-4, desperately clinging to the waiver wire. But there's hope for me. Like I said, there's hope for Akers. I picked up Madison, Philip Lindsay as well, and Justin Jackson. So I have like 3, 4 guys who look like suddenly
Right.
they could be filling in for me and helping my roster out a lot. Jamie, how about you? Take us through where you are.
Well, currently stuck sitting at 3-2. Um, Obviously, I've had a very rocky road with drafting McCaffrey first. He went down. My second pick was
Happens.
Fournette. He is
Mm.
basically dead, but I traded him a while ago. Third pick was Le'Veon Bell, who is now teamless.
They freed me.
Right. So, I mean, I've been very, very active on the trade block and waiver wire, just building
hmm
myself back up. So, I'm sitting at 3-2. My team is looking okay. Honestly, it's if you look at it, it looks like I just need players to get healthy to be good again. Because I have a bunch
Hmm.
of pretty okay receivers, but then in both my IR slots right now, I have McCaffrey and Eckler.
Yeah,
So
that's a nice pair of running backs to have.
So yeah, so the fact that I'll eventually be able to go McCaffrey, Eckler, and then we'll say even flex Le'Veon if he goes somewhere,
Yeah.
or maybe he doesn't, and I trade. Who knows at this point what happens? But so those are my backs I'm rolling with.
Hmm.
As far as receivers go, I'm still chilling with DJ Chark. I just acquired oh my God, Jets. What's his name? Wide receiver, not Perriman.
You can do this. You can do this. You can do
What's
this,
his name,
Jamie. You
Tom?
know who he is. You're the resident Jets fan, Jamie.
I'm checking.
Oh no, he's looking it up. Oh, there you go. Look at that.
Literally just
Jets
traded
fan
for
doesn't even know the
Crowder.
name of his
Crowder.
players. Yeah, it's Jamison Crowder. It's Jamison Crowder there with the Jets. Target hog. He gets so many targets. It's absurd, honestly.
Right.
Sometimes, like he's getting like 10 to 15 like looks a game. Like that's crazy.
So
It's
despite Chark
crazy.
and despite Chark being, I have Chark. I don't know if I said that yet. Despite him
Hmm.
being hurt all the time, I have I acquired Laviska Shenault off waivers week 1 because he went off.
Yeah.
He's been great. Aside from that, I'm just sitting on Brown, Malcolm Brown. That is, I don't. I think his value runs out soon. I also have Traquan Smith, who was filling in some parts for me during the Michael Thomas experiment. But now that Michael Thomas is coming back, that's another
Oh,
spot for
maybe
another
maybe
flyer.
he's coming
So
back. We don't know. We don't know.
right,
There seems to be some drama there with
that's
our new
true.
Mr.
But
Big Chest candidate.
That's true, but we'll see. I doubt his worth keeping, but I'll wait and see.
Yeah, I think once Michael Thomas comes back, Traquan Smith is a thing of the past.
Oh, if they ever announce that Thomas is going to start, I'll just pick something up off waivers. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's about where we can wrap up for today. Yeah, I think that was a good show today. What do you
Yeah,
think?
sounds good to me.
Just follow our advice. Listen to everything we said.
Don't blame me for anything, please.
No, we're not responsible, but we are responsible if you do well.
Yes. I claim no responsibility, but I claim all success.
Yeah, yeah. Success is us, but failure is that's on you.
Hard agree.
All right.
Thanks for
Yeah.
watching, guys. Appreciate it a
See you
lot.
next week.
See you next week. Have a good night. Let us know in the comments what you guys thought.